Peru, right from the miners, and then sending it back to China to be refined. They're paying double what the West will pay, but this accumulation is totally opaque. How much did they buy? What effect does it have on the price? On the supply, nobody knows. But this is coming from the second largest producer of silver in the world. Why are they doing this? Why has India bought over 900 million ounces in the last 5 years, more than the LBMA has in total they've bought in the last 5 years? And now Russia, accumulating it for strategic purposes by the state, the first country to say that. Well, all of these things were happening when you and I were talking over the last year or two. But now someone within the Trump administration, thank goodness, is wise enough, I believe, to have said, listen, if we don't start doing what the rest of the world is doing, we're in trouble.
Chip, I don't know what else to say about it, but as soon as I saw that copper, the 1965 or 64, immediately I started saving the real silver, getting rid of the fake silver. That's Gresham's law. But today, as some of you know, silver is about to take off again. I remember it took off during the Hunt brothers, when the Hunt brothers tried to corner the silver market. And there was a frenzy going on there. But silver right now, in my opinion, is the number one investment you can make today, for at least for the amount of gains. And then, like I said, one of the best things about my business is I get to hang out with smart guys like Andy Schectman here. So we're going to be talking to Andy about the big buyback. Okay.
Absolutely. It's good to be back, Robert. Nice to see you. I'd be happy to be as transparent as I can.
Good. So yes, if I buy a pair of shoes for $100 and I wear it for a year, I can't expect to get $100 back. But if I buy $100 worth of silver and the price of silver goes up, I expect to get more money back. That's the nature of this business. So how does it work from your end? I mean, you obviously like it when people buy from you. But what happens when somebody comes in to sell their silver or gold to you?
So most of my career, which is 35 years now, almost 30, so $300 on a mint box. That would have been for almost my entire career. That would have been standard. Now you say, okay, I'll do that. In fact, I want to get $100,000 worth. Sure. This is November 2019. You call me back 6 months later, March, April, May 2020, the pandemic had hit. Andy, the pandemic really affected my business. I need to sell those mint boxes. You told me that you would pay me $2.79 over. Is that still good? I'd say, no, it's not. But how about $11 over? Because the demand was so high for the price of silver, and for silver American Eagles, that in 6 months, the premium went from $2.79 over bid price. Take everything the mint will give them because there's so much demand. The mint says we're out of product. That's it. No more product. These primary distributors then become the market makers moving forward. They are the ones that set the premiums either to the upside or to the downside. There's so much demand in 2020 and 2021 that they say, we'll pay anyone that wants to send us their Silver Eagles $11 over the price of silver, but we're selling them at 12 or 13 or 14 over. Now that spread, which was much bigger than normal, was big because you can't hedge the spread or the premium. You can only hedge the metal content. So anyways, first and foremost, your guy in Arizona really is not the one who set down. But here's where it gets really interesting. Where we are right now is a very unique situation because you still have the American public who has yet to really take your advice, Robert. They're beginning to. They're waking up. But this is simultaneously happening when the COMEX market is experiencing the largest deliveries that they've ever had in the history of the market. In fact, the May delivery contract for COMEX, where the prices are set globally, delivered the largest amount of gold and silver in the history of the COMEX ever. The biggest money up here, they're standing for delivery. They're the ones pushing the price higher. The public hasn't. The public thing I've ever seen in my career to where we are right now. And in defense of this gentleman, I will say industry-wide, the premiums are lower than I've ever seen, ever in my career. And it's not us, it's the people one step above us, the primary distributors. that are the market makers. That's really as honest of an answer as I can give you, is that when I take in $1 million worth of gold and silver, if I can sell it to my clients, great. But if I'm a coin shop in Arizona, I may not have that ability and I may not have that liquidity. So I have to turn around and sell it to a company like me or a company above me, the primary distributor, and the bid prices are going to be lower.
Because what happened was when I sold this stuff, it was my wife who caught it. And she called another friend out of, Austin, Texas. And he says, no, you got screwed. So
Right.
that's what fired us off. And I stopped doing business with him. But that's what I was asking you. How much does that independent dealer have when they see you walk in the door and you got green boxes of silver or, yellow boxes of gold?
In most cases, it's like going into a movie theater.
Asking you today is, I guess it comes down to, this is my question that we can answer when we come back. Does it depend upon an individual, a little guy like me, finding a person like you who I just do business with? When we come back, we'll be talking more to Andy Schectman, Miles Franklin. He's been in the coin business forever. I love his picture behind of him is nothing but the history of gold and silver and real money. Or as J.P. Morgan says, gold is money, everything else is credit. And so we come back again. It's like with our longtime friend, Andy Schectman. As some of you know, I've been a gold and silver bug since a long time ago, since Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. I bought my first Krugerrand, a South African Krugerrand in Hong Kong. And I paid $50 for it, and I still have it today. And today it's worth about $3,500. So did the Krugerrand grow in size, or did the dollar go down in purchasing power? I'll let you answer that question.
Provide it in a fair way. Now, perhaps a local dealer would take that order, but thinks to him or herself, look, I'm going to have to offload this immediately. I'm going to have to box it up. I'm going to have to ship it to that dealer wherever they may be in order to get paid. I'm going to be out the money for several days because I just gave Robert a check and now I have to quickly turn around and get this shipped off. And that's going to take time and effort and money. So I'm going to make something for that. That's pretty much the way that they would feel.
That makes sense.
Sending it back to me, well, that's just part of what we do. It's hedged, it's done, boom. I would be the person that coin dealer may call to offload the responsibility of that order on, because he or she would know. In fact, there are people that I work with that I will wire them the money. And this isn't the smartest business decision. But if they're career, you would have gotten north of 2 or 3% over spot for those. And during the pandemic, as high as $200 over the price of gold based upon supply and demand. Now, I look at this as a contrarian indicator where the public is missing the boat on physical, moving into risk-on assets like NVIDIA, at the same time that the world's exchanges from London to the United States and even Shanghai are being bled dry by the most well-informed and sophisticated traders in the world. That will pull its way down eventually. But this is why the big money who understands things, who's in the information, say that about. You could have said that about Bitcoin when it was $100 a coin, very low downside, amazing upside, looking back at it in retrospect. So, but I think that's where we are with silver right now.
The reason I like silver is I'm betting against the government. In other words, I don't trust the Fed. I don't trust, I like Trump, but can they stop inflation? I don't think so.
No.
So gold and silver are really nothing to do with anything else but inflation.
Yeah, that's right.
Inflation attacks.
It's right. It's a hedge against the stupidity of are they doing this? Why has India bought over 900 million ounces in the last 5 years, more than the LBMA has in total? They've bought in the last 5 years, and now Russia accumulating it for strategic purposes by the state, the first country to say that. Well, all of these things were happening when you and I were talking over the last year or two, but now someone within the Trump administration, thank goodness, is wise enough, I believe, to have said, listen, if we don't start doing what the rest of the world is doing, we're in trouble. And this huge rush of both gold and silver into the COMEX, which is standing for delivery, which is way different than anything we've ever seen, goes to tell you that the people at the highest level who know what's just don't have the pricing power to be as competitive as you might like at this point. I'm providing you liquidity. That may change very quickly when the demand goes shoot and everyone's buying. Yeah, sure. They'll buy it back and turn around and sell it at a profit. And that premium that you'll get will be much better. Unfortunately, you are just a victim of timing, in my opinion.
Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Support the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and enabling post notifications for more content on crypto and digital assets. Check out our other videos and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your engagement helps with the YouTube algorithm and keeps the content coming. Thanks for your support. Enjoy the video.